How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. It is Friday here on the show, and you know what that means. It's Fun Friday, and you can't spell fun or Friday without Lance Storm. He's going to be joining us here today. We got a lot to talk about. This weekend, we got SmackDown tonight, in which we are expected to see some new debuts. We've also got Collision this coming weekend at AAA on Fox. And other than that, kind of a slow weekend, which is I'm very thankful for right now. So we got a lot of news to get into. The newest issue of The Observer is out, and we got a lot of news on WrestleMania and match results, and a lot of TKO news as well. There was a recent shareholders lawsuit and some filings that Brandon Thurston has gone through, so we're going to tell you about all of that. We've also got notes on some pay for some WWE top executives, what's going on with The Rock. We have got some ratings notes, why Jordan Grace got in trouble during a recent match, and plenty more. Busy day here today. And you are welcome to join the show if you'd like. If you want to text us here, 425-780-7566. We should have time for some text messages, 425-780-7566. At 4wonline at gmail.com is the email address. I'm at 4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. Hey, it's a great week for some cameos. Always good to do a few of those. At Bryan Alvarez on X, at Bryan Alvarez on Blue Sky. Lots of ways to find me. So it is a good day to send in some questions, because I think once we get through the news, we will have some free time today. So send your questions, 425-780-7566, the text message line. And we'll be back in a moment to kick it off. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. I think this show was like the best and worst of AEW.
The earliest story of this show was somebody almost died in every match. I thought MJF's head was going to fall off his body.
It looked like he put his own head into the mat as hard as he could.
Momo kicks Mercedes. Mercedes might have a bruised larynx.
I was certain Swerve had broken his neck.
Man, this dude landed right on his head.
Mariah May versus Toni Storm.
Good Lord.
Mariah gets her hands on a champagne bottle and smashes it right into Toni's crotch.
Some guy in the front row holds up a sign that goes, "For the sickos!"
It sure was.
It's like, well, goddamn, this was for the sickos, all
As
right.
sick as you can get.
Yes.
I did not have glass to the vajayjay on my bingo card. For
I don't
this
know
year.
why not.
I certainly hope not.
You should have.
What kind of bingo are we playing over there? And the two big screens just read, "The End." This, in hindsight, absolutely should have ended the show.
Maybe it should have. However, I can't guarantee that this match was going to be this good with this much heat 5 hours into the live show.
Well, there's that.
Following all those matches we saw. Like, every time people say this should main event, it's like, are you sure you want that? They went to Takeshita and Kenny. Another incredible match.
What is up with they have an announcer that wears a mask?
Oh, no. God, please, not this.
What
Anyway, the match.
What is that about?
I actually was fixing to give Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher the highest star rating on the show, but I would say that by the last 3-4 minutes, I was like, well, you did a little too much here. People are going to be mad, but it's true. We didn't need the Spanish fly off the top of the cage. This match would have been as good or better without it.
The penis first Styles clash into the tax.
That should be a finish.
That should be a career ender. It is tomb silent.
Oh, yeah, this crowd's dead.
They've seen every single goddamn thing two human beings can do to each other, and now men are grappling.
And Jason here goes, "It's go away heat, Brian. He sucks." Listen, do you guys know what go away heat is?
Listen.
There were 11,000 people in this building. It's just like when people hated Jericho. There still is no evidence that he actually ran anybody off. They just didn't want him. Like, there's a difference. You want a different champion, but who is quitting AEW because Jon Moxley retained tonight?
Put the belt on Swerve immediately, as soon as possible. It could be me, it could be you, it could be Mark, anyone.
I don't want it.
Just,
I don't want
it's run its course.
All right. Golly, this Moxley has heat with these people. What did you think, Mark?
Oh, I'm coming for you now. I punched him in the diverticulitis.
Piss like a sprinkler.
Go
Back
out, and
forth,
we are going to do
back
what was
and
billed.
forth.
No, not like this.
There was more. There was.
It's not for me. Why do you like it?
No,
so
Jason.
much? Are you guys on Tony's payroll?
We're in the show. Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Old Lance Storm is joining us here today. What's going on, Lance?
Not too much, just dealing with high winds, enough that they're advising people to stay off highways if you can.
High winds. That's not good. Stay off the highway?
Well, some
There's some high winds.
transports have been flipped over, so it's windy, dude.
All right. Well, stay safe over there, Lance.
I'll be staying in the house, so I should be fine.
Well, I don't have any other news on this, and everybody's been asking me about it. I don't have an answer. But Lucha Underground, 43 minutes ago, Lucha Underground posted a video of I was going to say a mask, but there's actually a head in the mask. It appears to be a beheaded mask. But anyway, it just says soon, and then the words mas appear, which means more. So, I don't know, but that just got tweeted. So I guess we shall wait and see. That is their first tweet since 2019.
Is it currently available anywhere on a streaming platform?
I'm actually not sure. It was for a while. If anybody knows, let me know where Lucha Underground might be available right now. Yes, Funk Monk says, I just saw it. So it does exist somewhere on a streaming platform. We'll see what happens here, everybody. Interesting. All right. Newly released testimony from a deposition in the WWE shareholders lawsuit has revealed that TKO President Mark Shapiro did not feel that keeping Vince McMahon around as part of the UFC WWE merger was necessary, quote, especially with all the baggage. The issue is this contradicts statements. My allergies, dude. I hope I make it through this show. The issue is that contradicts statements made in filings with the SEC, which illustrated why it was felt McMahon needed to earn the compensation package and role he received as part of the deal. First reported by Post Wrestling's Brandon Thurston, Shapiro was asked in his deposition if he personally didn't view McMahon, quote, being in the executive chair role as a necessary condition for the future success of the combined company. Shapiro said, correct, especially with all the baggage. He was asked if McMahon remaining on board as TKO executive chairman was a goal of McMahon's and not of what would become TKO leadership. Was not a goal of ours? Nope, no, it was not, he answered. With the September 2023 merger of UFC and WWE that created TKO, McMahon received his lifetime role as TKO executive chairman, board nomination rights, veto power over certain transactions, in addition to 6 extra percentage points of the combined company worth roughly $1 billion. The testimony also showed McMahon wanted to initially be TKO CEO, but that did not happen. Lawsuit claims McMahon's drive to merge WWE with UFC was predetermined, while other better offers were on the table because he wanted a role within it. He stepped down from his TKO position when the Janelle Grant lawsuit first came to light in January 2024, remains the company's largest single-person stockholder. Stepped down is, what he claimed, but he was
given the option to step down or be stepped down.
Yeah. And then there was more. So, it's really weird with this lawsuit because the way I understand it is McMahon was initially ousted, okay? And they had many offers to buy the company, okay? But Vince, as the majority stockholder, was like, I am not okaying any sale unless I am brought back as part of this company. He forced his way back in. And so, he ends up back. And then once he's back as the majority shareholder, he can start making decisions as far as like where the thing is going to be sold. And I mean, I believe, I don't want to be part of this lawsuit, but like I believe that yes, he obviously wanted to go with a company that was going to give him a job for life and power. I mean, I don't even think that's like something you could, obviously that's what he wanted. He's not going to okay the sale to, some buyer that has no interest in him being involved. And so I always thought that was like part of the whole deal was TKO was willing to give him a role. And so he was like, okay, well, we'll sell to TKO because I want that role. So, the interesting thing about this shareholder lawsuit is, I mean, yes, in theory, maybe they might have made a few billion more dollars if they would have sold to somebody other than TKO. But I think the important thing is, like, can we, like, there's a lawsuit, right? Can we prove damages? And if you look at what the TKO stock has done since purchasing WWE and what these shareholders are actually making as part of this transaction, I don't know, man. It's one of those weird things. Like, yeah, I mean, for sure they maybe would have, I think there might have been people that offered a little bit. It's not like it's even a lot more. It's like a little bit more than TKO offered. We also don't know if TKO would have upped their offer. We don't really know anything. But what I do know is that this stock is frickin' sky high. So I guess we'll see.
We also know that or at least it certainly seems like he misled shareholders, which you're not allowed to do.
I guess. I mean,
if you put his own interests ahead of looking into potential interests of shareholders, that's an issue.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens there. But, yeah. The SEC filing stated McMahon, quote, had not and was not requesting or proposing such rights, which I think is attempting to return to WWE or whatever. So then we've got an update regarding TKO having complete creative control of WWE. This from The Observer. Dave notes that TKO executives, Ari Emanuel and Shapiro, they do have the final say in creative, but they almost never use it. And it was stated that in the WrestleMania situation, they did use it at the most inopportune time. And of course, this was when they decided they wanted Pat McAfee heavily involved, thinking that he was a gigantic star that would help sell hundreds of thousands of tickets or whatever to WrestleMania. I don't know how many they thought he'd sell. But they did request McAfee and Jelly Roll's involvement. Although, like, I didn't have any problem whatsoever with Jelly Roll's involvement because, Jelly Roll, he did some good promos and he didn't, like, take the shine away from anybody else. And even McAfee, it's like, I didn't even so much have a problem with what he did. It was just, fans were led to believe that somebody else would be involved in that role, somebody that would make more sense. And so they were very down on McAfee, ended up being that deal. One person, Dave wrote, noted seeing the TKO executives versus WWE creative team battle coming for a year and said there was a lot of internal jockeying going on, and it was encouraged by Ari Emanuel and Shapiro. You know who that sounds like?
Yeah, I know who that sounds like.
Sounds like Vince. I'm not saying Vince was involved in any way, but I know some people, like, believe that he's secretly doing something. And all I'll say is, I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know this. He used to love pulling the strings. He used to love doing that.
Keeping the people underneath you fighting with themselves rather than fighting with you was not invented by Vince McMahon.
Yes. It was noted to us, Dave wrote, everyone acknowledges that at the end of the day, they do have complete control, but they rarely use it. And the complaint this year was that when they did use it, it was at the worst time. Which I think we can actually all agree on there. But that is the update on...
And you also can't be surprised. If they have the power to make Vince McMahon step down, they have the power to change creative.
All right, we're going to do a break. We got a lot more when we come back here. Apparently, Lucha Underground, they filed some new trademarks, so it looks like they're working on trying to return. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Granny, what have you got today?
Okay, everybody be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Google, tell us a joke.
What's the most musical part of a turkey? The drumsticks.
Ba-da-cha.
Hey, Google, you suck.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
The guilt in the response.
Hey, Google, that's enough. Hey, Google.
Shut your hole.
Hey, Google.
Hi there, I'm listening.
Oh, jeez.
How can I help today?
Hey, Google. Shut up.
How can I be of service?
No, that won't quit.
God.
Hey, Google. No more. Stop.
This is how the war with the robots begins.
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
Granny, I will pay you $100 to read that again, please.
Yeah, can you read more?
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with O period, P period, P period in 1992?
You somehow made it better. Oh, period. P
Stop the show
period.
now. We have peaked.
P period.
Please send those edits to Brian's email.
Are you down with O period, P period, P period? On the show The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Sheldon are both physicists. What is there? At what?
What the hell just happened right there?
Physicists?
Yes.
Physicists?
Yes.
Yeah. I lost my track.
You lost your crack.
You were at Sisyphus.
In what city was Nipar
Brooks.
Shakur shot and killed?
Excuse me, say that again.
In what city was Tupac?
Two-pack. Vegas.
Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Join us!
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you know, we got a trip to the Vegas Strip, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can get shot too.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Google, take a nap. Hey, Google, wake up. Hey, Google, are you awake?
Here's a YouTube music station called Are You Awake?
Hey, Google, stop!
All right, I've all nasal sprayed myself up. So hopefully we'll be ready to go here. Let's see. Got a bunch of questions here for Fun Friday, so maybe we'll get into those for a while.
Did you
Or in a
happen to
while.
catch Impact last night? That main event was awesome.
What was it? I did not.
Mike Santana defending the title against Rich Swann.
It does sound awesome.
And it was about 19 minutes.
Wow. Maybe I'll go check that out. Dude, I was not watching any wrestling yesterday. Guys, I did the show. This sounds like lazy and everything like that, but I did the 8 o'clock show with Vinny, the Brian and Vinny show. I did nothing else the entire day. I volunteered at my kid's school. I went and watched the jiu-jitsu class. I did nothing. What did I watch? Skinwalker Ranch, something. I did no work yesterday. I hit my wall. Like, I felt, it was weird, like, the WrestleMania weekend was so wild, and it's in Vegas, and it's all crazy. And, like, I flew home Monday, and, everyone else just flies home and relaxes. I flew home to watch Raw and do a show. And then I just kind of was like, man, I'm going to just crash out Tuesday. But, like, I was on such a high for Mania weekend that, like, it lasted through, like, Wednesday. And then it was, like, Wednesday night, did that show super late with Dave. I was like, okay, I'm done.
You hit the wall, brother.
I hit the wall. Like, I am not doing anything on Thursday. Absolutely nothing. All right. Let's see here. WrestleMania 42, Dave in the Observer wrote that it was possible, and apparently talked about, that CM Punk could beat Reigns and then lose the title at Backlash, so that they would be even when it was over, but Reigns would end up as champion as a way to protect Punk's position. But the decision in the end was for Reigns to win here. So I guess they had considered going the other way. I think this was better. I mean, I don't think they need to be even. I don't think it hurts CM Punk.
And I think he'll be shifted to SmackDown, which will put them in separate yards again.
Well, we do have SmackDown tonight, and we will find out. Like, I haven't heard anything about a draft. That doesn't mean there's not going to be one, or they won't announce it tonight. But there are going to be some call-ups, obviously. I think Sol Ruca is one of them. Sol Ruca obviously lost the last woman standing match. And it's interesting because...
She survived, right? She's okay?
Well, this is really weird, all right? So, I heard from somebody there that she was fine. She got both of her arms up like this, and she mostly hit her arms. She didn't hit her head. The referee checked on her and did the signal and everything like that. And then, like, she tweeted out, thank you, NXT, it's been real or whatever. And then the next day, she posted a black and white picture of staples on the top of a head. And so everybody was like, oh, see, she did hit the tables. She got staples in her head and everything like that. And I don't want to say that's not true, okay? But I did have people say, like, that picture could have been taken at any time. So there was some skepticism about it. So one way or the other, she's fine.
Also, too, like, depending on where a cut could be, she could have just scraped a bit of skin across the edge of that table and got cut. Doesn't mean she got a concussion just because there was a laceration.
Well, it was also weird because if you see how she went through the table, like, it looked, I mean, if you watch it before you knew about her arms, it looked like her head had been chopped off because it looked like she went through the table, like, right here at the base of her neck, and so her entire head, like, snapped through the other table. But, like, the picture was like staples on top of her head. I feel like I'm watching the Zapruder film, like, that doesn't make sense based on the video.
I didn't think much of her head hit the table at all. I thought at most she clipped it because the table didn't even break or chip.
Yeah. Back and to the left, this guy says. Yeah. But anyway, one way or the other, I was told she's all right. So
that's good.
She should be debuting on SmackDown tonight, and probably some others as well. And I did see something on the internet, which, I mean, it was exactly what I figured. Like, I think that Ricky Saints probably is, I mean, he's ready to be called up, but I think that he's probably not. And the reason was the exact reason I talked about on Tuesday, which is, dude, they got to have somebody. I mean, they're calling up everybody, and we need somebody to anchor this place. I'm pretty sure that the reason that Joe Hendry didn't get called up back in January is they called up all these baby faces. They called up Trick, I guess was a heel, but they called up Trick, they called up Oba, called up Javon, and it was like, who's going to be the champion? Like, you could go Ricky, but he's a heel. I think they wanted, like, a babyface champion. So I think that Hendry had to stay there through WrestleMania. And then, they're getting rid of everybody and, like, all right, who's anchoring this promotion? I mean, who are the veterans right now? You got Lexus King, but he's the fastest man in the world, speed champion. You got Ricky. Anybody else? That it? My main man, Jackson Drake? Guy's going to be he's a revelation to me. But anyway, what else do we have here? Backstage Chaos, Saturday, described as being like WCW. He said that after Pat McAfee opted out of continuing with WWE, The decision not to go with Orton as champion was part of, quote, all the chaos taking place behind the scenes. But it was also known the decision to have Rhodes win the match had been made before Saturday. It was not just the negativity from fans that led to WWE and McAfee opting out, but the response from WWE talent as well. Dave said, I don't know if he gave a reason, but the belief in WWE was that he didn't like the negativity of the fans, not the heel heat, but the negativity. Plus, even worse, the negativity of the angle from much of the talent. And I mean, like, everybody was negative on the angle, but again, I don't think it was McAfee. Like, McAfee did the best he could. I feel like McAfee's taken some bullets here that he doesn't deserve because, I mean, he did what was asked. I thought in his role, he did a great job. He got a lot of heat. As a performer, I thought he did a very, very good job. But it was just, he was the wrong guy. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And everybody took it out on him. I feel personally, and I don't think that they should be taking out on him personally, nor should they be taking it out on him at all. Wasn't his call. He's the guy that wanted out a long time ago. They talked the guy into coming back. And then, like, he didn't want to come back, but finally he was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then he gets hated for it. So that kind of sucks.
Well, if you're right, though, him taking the bullets is best for everyone. Like, he leaves the company and takes that heat with him, which I think also puts him in a more favorable light and leaves the company in a more favorable light. So if he is just taking the bullets, then more power to him and a little bit of respect as well.
All right, the WrestleMania 2027. It's actually very interesting because, you know, they've got a show coming up. They had a show scheduled for Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions, June 27th. And, you know, this is still a very volatile part of the world. And there was a lot of talk, like a month or so ago, that, like, very skeptical that this summer show is taking place. But they've officially set the date as of this week. It is going to be June 27th in Riyadh, Night of Champions. They're doing it. And so it looks to me like, you know, barring World War III, I mean, they're just going to keep going and making that money. So at this point, the WrestleMania date is likely to be at the end of March. WrestleVotes claiming March 27th targeted date, and April 10th also on the table. So one way or the other, late March, early April for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year. I will not be going. I don't know how many people will.
You gonna go in June, Brian?
No, I will not be going in June either. You know, it's funny, like, I mean, you know, all of these indie shows, they run around WrestleMania weekend. And there were like a ton of them that ran around Mania weekend this weekend. I went to most of them. Actually, I didn't go to most of them. There were like 25 shows or something crazy. There was some crazy number of shows. But I went to shows at all hours of every day this weekend. And like, that was one of the main things everybody was talking about was like, we ain't going next year. I ain't going to Saudi Arabia. Not happening. And kind of everyone is sort of like, there's nothing official, but it seems like all of the different indie promotions are kind of thinking like, well, you know, something's probably going to happen in America next year. You know, maybe AEW will do something. Maybe they'll just all, you know, band together and do a WrestleMania weekend like they did this year just without WWE. But there seems to be a feeling that something like that's going to happen. And I guess we just wait because, you know, where would you do it? You're going to try Vegas again? Are you going to go to New Orleans? Are you going to go to Chicago? Like, what's a good market? Where can everybody go? Can everyone get on the same page? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We have got here's the upcoming lineup. Backlash will be Tampa, Florida, May 9th. So that's not that far away. They got to get something going. We have got May 31st is WWE Clash in Italy. In Turin, Italy, in fact. Then we have Night of Champions, June 27th in Riyadh. And then SummerSlam is August 1st and 2nd, U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis. And then we have got September 6th, Sunday, September 6th. I don't like that. But anyway, Money in the Bank.
Why specifically you don't like September 6th?
Because I think that's Labor Day weekend, and I had plans. Labor Day weekend is like late this year. So actually it might be... When is Labor Day weekend this year? I'm going to find out during the break. We'll get a scoop when we come back, everybody. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
It's Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V, and we hope that you enjoy the show.
Should I do one more time? Huh? I played the entire song before realizing I had not hit record.
I figured as much.
So I had to start the entire show over again. Uh-oh. Is my internet down? My internet died.
Yeah.
All right. Stand by, everybody. Hi, everybody. We're back. And we're just gonna barrel on through, right, Vinny? What do we have on that Facebook thing? Now it says no audio. Jared, do we have audio?
I can hear you.
Honestly, what is going on?
Yeah, we just watched a movie
What
about
is
this.
up with my internet? Lost everybody again. Curry says no problems with the Big Vinny V show.
His words.
Not since the first one.
I was gonna say the very
There have
first
been
one was a
Many
disaster.
problems. Many
Yes.
problems.
We've had quite a few.
Yeah, and you know what I do? I just barrel on through.
Brian.
Barrel on through should be the name of this show. What the hell's going on this week? Like every single show, something goes terribly wrong. Today, I didn't have the music set to go at first. Then I got it set to go, but I forgot to hit record. Finally, I hit record and got the song going right. Golly. One disaster after another here. We're starting 15 minutes late. I still can't find the video, Jared. Is it up? Where is everything? Granny's joining us here today via phone. We cannot connect her audio or video. It's a blank screen. I don't know what's going on. What are we doing? Should we just quit today? I don't know what the problem is, Granny. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what's going on. We still have no video. I got a question. Where's the goddamn video at?
You gotta fire Jared.
All right, now it's up. Hello, everybody.
This is the one you told me to do last week, Undertaker plus Psycho Kid.
Okay.
Are you done laughing?
Yeah, we're done.
Yes, Granny, I apologize.
There'll be more.
Then Psycho Sid comes out with blonde curly hair. Hard to pull. Lasts a while before he gets out of it. I had to give that a 10.
A 10.
Oh, wow.
Undertaker won a match and a belt. That's a 10 on the Granny scale.
Victor is still at it more than ever this week, as far as the soaps go.
Hell of a report, Granny.
All right.
That was a 10 on the Granny soap opera report scale.
Okay, just a minute.
Jared, you're forgiven. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Alrighty, well, should we do some of these text messages? Should we see what these people are asking about?
Let's make Friday fun, Brian. Come on.
425-780-7566 is the text message line. 425-780-7566. Don't be a ding-dong and call that line because it won't work. That's why it's called a text message line. It's only for text messages. All right. Great start.
Nothing coming in. Nobody has any fun questions for us on a Friday.
Well, no. The very first question, I was like, I tried to read it, and I couldn't even figure out what they were trying to say. Might have been from Curryhead. The person says, is WWE really so cheap that they didn't even comp Make-A-Wish for WrestleMania? You know, I heard about this yesterday, and I will be honest, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. But I'm going to try and go through because somebody was telling me about this yesterday. Let's see.
Yeah, I was.
I'm on my game today. What'd you hear?
Oh, I just
had to buy tickets.
I saw that, I think it was Nick Khan, or at least the post claim Nick Khan said that Make-A-Wish purchased a certain value in tickets for Mania, and I always just thought, it's like, yeah, geez, I would have thought they'd have just comped those, but again, I don't know the accuracy of it or how protocol works on such a thing.
All right. I was told that over 25 families did get Mania trips via Make-A-Wish. So I don't know how that plays into the rest of that story. But there were multiple families that did get Mania trips. So that doesn't exactly state that WWE paid for the Mania. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I will try to follow up on that one because I have been hearing about it for the last couple of days. All right, let's try another one here. Since it's Fun Friday, I want to ask which main event wrestlers in the past you think would do well today if they drank from the fountain of youth. Not starting from scratch, but returning. So somebody who was great back in the day and they would still fit right in 2026, Lance.
Oh, gosh. I think most greats from the past are great because they adapted. Like, again, he's no longer with us, but Terry Funk is a prime example of a guy that always found a way no matter what generation. I'm trying to think. It's like, I don't see why most, you know what I mean? Like a Bruno would find a way, I would think. A Ric Flair, if he was younger, would still stand out. I think all would to a certain extent, other than perhaps the real low work rate big guys, because you have to have a degree of agility and athleticism now more than you did back in the day where you could just stand there and be big.
I think it's funny you mentioned Bruno because I think that many of the wrestlers post 1984 would do just fine today, and I'm talking all over the world, would do just fine today as if they found the fountain of youth. But I'm not sure about the pre-84 guys because Bruno in particular, he was a gigantic star, and he was obviously part of WWF from the very beginning, and then he was there through Vince McMahon Jr. taking over, and then he was part of the company for like 3, 4, 5 years after the it's more like 3 years after the national expansion, and man, that business was not for him, and he made it very clear like it just wasn't for him, and I think that if he were alive today with the Fountain of Youth, I just don't.
Yeah, I think I was looking at it more. A pro that succeeded would find a way to adapt, but if you just drop him in today, yeah, that would be too great of a change in temperature for someone to adjust.
Yes.
But if he was starting out in the business young today, I think he would probably find a way to succeed by the end of his career. But yeah, just plopping them in now with, oh, you're young and healthy, go out and wrestle, then that generation would struggle.
I'm writing a book, Pro Wrestling for Dummies.
I've heard.
Yes, and as I've written the history of wrestling, which, golly, I've, it's funny. I'll just specifically of WWE, WWF, WWF. It is, and just wrestling in general, actually, in America. It's like wrestling went for long periods of time and really did not change at all. And then there would be like some massive change. And then it would go a long period of time and not change at all. And then there would be another massive change. And I bring this up because particularly like WWF, I mean, they basically did the same thing from like 1963 to like 1983. It was like different people, but it was generally, and actually it wasn't even a lot of different people. It was like Bruno was on top for much of that period. And then,
11 years.
Vince went national. And, wrestling from 84 to like 92 was like completely, absolutely different than it had been in 1982 in the WWF. And then, after the steroid trials and the whole shebang, and they had that new generation, and it was like completely different. The 92 to 95, 96 period was very different from the 80s. And then
wasn't successful.
Well, no, but it was also just different, the smaller guys, and then you had all those goofy gimmicks, and it was different. And then, of course, the Attitude Era kicked off. And, if you look at 1997 through today, I mean, they've had periods of highs and lows and stagnancy, but it's like, it's not that different. Meaning, if you watch a Raw today and you watch a Raw from like 1999, I mean, you'll see a big difference in not so much crowd size, but like, the crowds were wilder back then. But I mean, in general, it's like, I think anybody in WWE that you took from about 1996 on could walk in today and just be fine because it's changed so little. But if you go back to like, would King Kong Bundy work today? Probably not. Getting out of developmental would be my guess. Maybe he would. Would Bruno or Pedro Morales or, I don't really see it. But I think anybody from about 96 on, you could just plop in today and nobody would know any better. That's my thought.
But yeah, the big change, though, is like when TV went national, people saw all the television all over the place, and if something caught on somewhere, you had to change to adapt. And with the internet, it's like if 2001 WWE isn't catching fire with fans, it's like, well, they might see some wrestling from Mexico that does, or Japan that does, and it forces people to adapt. And again, even the Attitude Era, it's like, the ECW style was being seen from some people, so that had to be adapted and folded into WWE. When you had territories, it's like people lived in their tiny little bubbles and you didn't need to change.
This person says, in some crazy scenario, if the Saudis took over WWE, do you think they would care enough to allow Vince to return back to the company per his request? Bro, he'd be back the first day. You kidding me? I'd bet you anything if Saudis bought WWE tomorrow, Vince would be back on Monday.
100%.
What was that?
100%.
Yeah, I have no question in my mind whatsoever. I mean, none. Absolutely zero. So, yeah. This person here says, you did a spot at GCW. Did you and Dave get approached about doing a spot at JCW? No, we did not. Those juggalos, they are not fans of Dave Meltzer. No. But I'm pretty sure that Dave has been asked to be in the cluster pretty much every year, and he's never done it.
Probably for the best.
Why? He could have thrown out the Invisible Man. Doesn't have to take any bumps. Don't have to worry about anything like that,
Well, he still has to get thrown out.
This person here says, Happy Fun Friday. Brett Lauderdale tweeted about Bloodsport. What's next? Stay tuned. What's the deal? Barnett made it sound like it was over. You and Filthy seem to co-sign that. Well, here's the thing with Bloodsport, everybody, okay? I mean, right now it's over. And Josh Barnett has done interviews and made it very clear that, like, I own Bloodsport. It's mine. So it ain't coming back unless I'm the guy that's running Bloodsport. And, everything that he said, for those of you that saw his retirement speech, I mean, everything he said is that's it, And my understanding is that he had been thinking about this for quite a while. There were very, very few people that knew. And, I mean, I was there that day, and, like, I don't know if he told anybody. I don't know if he told Brett Lauderdale. He certainly didn't tell the announcers. I don't think he told any of the talent. Like, all of the fans that listened to his basically retirement speech for Bloodsport, I mean, as far as I know, like, all the wrestlers, I know for sure Tom, because I sat down next to him right when it started, and they told Tom to, like, don't say anything during whatever he says, and then Tom was just, like, so shocked. He goes, what? Right on commentary. But yeah, everybody was shocked. Everybody had no idea it was coming. I don't know how many people he told in advance, but like he had been thinking about it. And I mean, my understanding from what he said and has said in interviews is that if Brett Lauderdale wants to bring it back, like he can bring back the concept, but he can't bring back Bloodsport under that name. Maybe there will be some, maybe they'll call it
Lucha Underground.
Pride. I don't know. I don't know if they can use the Pride name either, probably, but maybe they'll come up with a new name but do the same concept next year. But it doesn't look like I mean, I'll tell you this for sure. Bloodsport ain't coming back unless it comes back with Josh Barnett. Not saying it's impossible, because he said it's not impossible, but doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon here. All right. This was sent a week ago, so there's a question for Don. But you know what? Don's not here, but we got the second best thing, Lance.
Wow, second best to Don. That's ignorant.
That was for Don. So, what do you think, Lance, about Paul Walter Hauser playing Mick Foley in a movie?
I honestly have not seen any of Paul Walter Hauser's wrestling. I'm not sure I've seen him acting either, so I really have no idea. If he's done some hardcore wrestling and he's a good actor, and I believe he's not exactly Lex Luger, then maybe he's a good choice.
All I know is if I were Paul Walter Hauser, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. But that's me. Paul Walter Hauser can do whatever he wants. But, like, to me, it's one thing to play, I feel, as a renowned actor. It is one thing to play, like, a real-life normal person. You know what I'm saying? But it's much more difficult to play a wrestler. Because these people are like the biggest stars in wrestling history are so uniquely themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, God bless MJF, but like, who are you going to get to play Ric Flair? Who are you going to get to play Hulk Hogan? Who are you going to get to play like all of these Bruno Sammartino or whoever?
Yeah,
and
that was the benefit of Mickey Rourke. He wasn't playing
exactly
anyone specific.
He was playing a brand new human being. Whereas, like, how can you play Mick Foley? Like, he's so uniquely himself. The hair, the face, the interview, the body, the wrestling, the promos, like all of it. It's like an impossible hill to climb to try to play Mick Foley. But I guess Paul Walter Hauser's going to try it, so all the best to him. But it's just, it's people like, and even I saw a trailer for that Michael Jackson film. It's like, I just watched a trailer and I'm like, I can't buy any of this. The guy looks he's nothing like Michael Jackson. Who can play Michael Jackson? God bless the guy, but back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We all went to the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in the Tacoma Dome. What a dump.
They've remodeled in the last 5 years.
I don't want to watch a show in the Tacoma Dome. I'm over that part of my life.
So this is all about
I
you,
want
okay.
It is all about me. It's my show.
Yep.
Sick of these crappy dumps.
Rico. Yes. Rico Constantino.
Mm-hmm.
When Rico Constantino showed up on the screen, I almost fainted.
If you would have slapped me with a bass, I would have been less surprised.
A bass,
Yeah.
you say?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Now, you mean the fish or like a bass, the instrument?
No, a bass.
Well, he would have said a bass if he meant a bass.
Shibata hooks a rear naked choke, and Shibata's shoulders were down, and the referee counted 3.
I don't care what happened in Florida in 1973.
That is an Eddie Graham babyface finish when he wanted to heel to get a fluke win.
The crowd hated it.
Hated it.
You know, people are upset that Adam Cole's back as a babyface or whatever.
Why?
But, dude, he's been gone for a year. So they obviously want to do Adam Cole and MJF. MJF is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Adam Cole is coming back as a babyface.
Yes. Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and Ricochet. My rating for this match was 1 zillion stars. I believe this may be my new favorite three-way ever. John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
You have to say it in such a sad way.
Yes! It was sad. It was a sad match. Before we even get to the post-match. The whole thing, start to finish, was sad. It was meant to bum you, the fans, out.
It worked.
It worked. It elicited emotions, which is what art is supposed to do.
It was very much like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels when Undertaker retired him, and like that's exactly what happened, is everyone just slowly stood up and quietly, sadly walked out of the building that night.
There was one gentleman that was walking by us, and he was dripping in Bryan Danielson's merchandise. And he was wailing, and he cried, forget my language, I can't believe they punked out my favorite wrestler like a bitch. And he was so upset.
And we go into that press conference. All I got to say about Don Callis is, man, I can't help but notice he's got a big mouth when he's got Takeshita right next to him, doesn't he?
That was a scintillating question. And I think maybe after that, we're finally, the Bryan and Vinny show might actually just be the Bryan show. That was producer Rob level stuff right there. Need to work on your game a little bit. Okay, next.
Rob's so excited and happy now. He texted me today. So it looks like I'm feuding with Don Callis. Ha ha. That's what he texted me.
That's not the way I took it at all. I looked at his wiener, and now he's mad at me. Duh.
Well, we got a big collision tomorrow. Tekla Sky Blue versus Persephone and Alex Windsor. Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate against the Demand. Conglomeration versus the Don Callis family. Jack Perry versus El Clone. That's for the AW National title. We've also got the Young Bucks against the Dogs and the Death Riders, which actually should be an awesome match. And Chris Statlander versus TBA. So that is that. I still have nothing for SmackDown. I'm sure there was like a lineup last week, maybe. Let's see if I can find something. I mean, I think everyone's tuning in because it's a SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Yeah, just to see the call-ups and any switchovers, I would imagine.
All right, let's see here. According to the latest updates, nope, this seems to be late. Nah, I don't know what's happening tonight. So, well, we'll see who debuts. I've been told there will be other call-ups, and perhaps there will be more on Raw as well. But it is time to kind of shake things up. Oh, U.S. women's title match and appearances from the new champions is what has been advertised. So that's coming up tonight. 3 hours. 3 hours of SmackDown, everybody. And Vinny and I will be covering that and Collision on the Bryan and Vinny Show on Sunday night. So you can all look forward to that. And also an Observer Radio on Sunday night this week, so a lot of stuff for subscribers. F4WOnline.com is the website. You can get everything. Or, of course, video.f4wonline.com for video. Spotify, f4wonline.com/Spotify. And Apple Podcasts, which, by the way, everybody, I don't know what happened, but 2 days ago, something changed on Apple Podcasts. I can now publish all of the shows immediately. So for those of you that had to wait around while that thing processed, I hated that. It looks like they finally fixed it. So we can get those shows up quick. F4WOnline.com/Apple. So anyway, that's it. Thanks, Lance. We'll talk to you next time. Observer Live.